What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to Oscar's Cozy Corner. Given that Christmas is just a couple of weeks away, I thought that it was about time I got myself into gear and redecorated my plaza for the festive season. Now, I absolutely love my plaza. I haven't updated it in months. It was actually the very first video that I posted on this channel, so if you are interested, I did a plaza tour. That was the first thing I ever recorded on a terrible mic, not knowing what I was saying, and just generally all over the place. But even now, I still love the layout. I think it works. With the additional 16-point rotation, I haven't really changed anything up. I just love how it looks. So this video and the concept of this video is more about how you can make small changes or minor adjustments that will keep the structure the same, but still make it feel really fresh, or at least changing the theme. While this is not technically a build from scratch, it's more of a redecoration. I'm going to take you through step by step, show you what I'm changing, why I'm changing it, and how it can make an impact, like a real impact, just from changing a couple of furniture items. You can see in the background, I've already decorated, but I'm going to go back to the start. We're going to go back to what my plaza used to look like, and I'm going to walk you through start to finish of what I'm changing and how we can make it all feel very Christmassy. I don't think there's any need to wait around, so let's just get straight in to the redecoration. Also, if you were wondering about my outfit, I'm taking a stand. I'm fed up of not getting male counterparts for the outfits, so you know what? I'm just going to rock this, and I think I look good. So this is the only Christmas outfit that was in the shop this week. I wanted it, and you know what? I think I pulled it off. So this is how my plaza looks as of right now. I love this plaza. As I said in my intro, this was kind of inspired by Main Street USA from Walt Disney World, which is one of my favorite places in the entire world. So I kind of lent into that when I put this together, and I don't really want to change the structure because everything works really nicely for me. I've got Scrooges in the corner, I've got Remy's over here, and I've got Daisy's if I need it, and then I've got obviously my own house skin, and then I don't ever really need Mike and Sully or Remy's house, but I think they work well with this kind of vibe. So the first thing that I'm actually going to do, I'm going to go ahead and just start deleting the stuff that I know I'm not going to use. So I don't want this partner statue anymore. Not because I don't like it, because I do love it, but we're going to put the Christmas tree there. I'm going to clear out these kind of like, I don't know what you'd call these. I guess they're kind of like foliage spaces, just tree spaces, just a little bit of green space amongst all of the brick paving. And we're also going to fill that in with some more Christmas appropriate trees. I'm going to do the same thing along the front. I'm actually going to get rid of all of these. I might even bring some of these back in, but for the time being, just so I get a sense of what I want to change, we're actually going to delete those. The one thing I do wish I could do, I know it introduced kind of with the floating islands, is I wish that I could turn off spawns because I don't need any more of these flowers or any more of the herbs, but they just keep spawning and getting in the way. I know that you can pave the whole area, I think, although it's difficult sometimes because you kind of butt up against the edges of the biome. So perhaps I need to just pave everywhere and then I won't get those. However, I'm going to also delete all of the fencing over here because I do have a plan for the fencing. So let's just go ahead and get rid of all of that. This section here with the trolley was just kind of like, I know in Walt Disney World and on Main Street, they do have the tram lines and they do send out vehicles sometimes. So it was kind of like that idea. And then obviously I've got my little functional section here with my crafting tables and the vacuum and everything. But I'm just going to get rid of that wrought iron fence. The ones that I do love and I continue to love are these brick fencing, the brick and iron ones. I think they just look really elegant. And actually they work in the vast majority of my builds, so I'm going to keep those for now. But looking at that, I think that might be just about ready to go. So the first thing that I'm going to do, of course, is I'm actually going to go ahead and place the big centerpiece down, which is going to be the Grand Tree of Holiday Cheer. We did get this in the premium shop this week. I don't actually have that many festive items or that many Christmas items because I missed the star paths and obviously I missed the premium shops over winter because I did only start playing at the start of this year. But I am going to just go ahead and place that right in the middle, so I really like how that looks. The second thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go and I'm going to replace all of the lighting because I did buy the bundle obviously with this in and it did come with the wreath lighting. So wherever there's a banner right now, I'm actually going to go ahead and swap that out for this festive wreath post because that is like a really easy way to transform it from kind of like regular park day into festive park. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just start swapping these out. It might take me a second just to decide on what sort of orientation I want, because I'm actually thinking I want these coming inwards by here as you come up from the peaceful meadow. So I'm actually going to rotate these a full 180 again. It's so many more clicks now. We have 16-point rotation. Even though I do love it, it does feel just like so many more clicks to rotate it like a 180. I'm going to come out just because there's still a little saving bug for me. So I'm going to come out and then go back in. That tends to be the easiest thing to make sure that your work does in fact save. And then you can continue on with your build. Just kind of a little safety precaution just from me. I'm looking at these and I like where they are. I think they might be just a smidgen too close together. So I'm going to move them back just by one tile. And I always talk in my builds about keeping like a bit of visual interest around the pathing just to break it up and make it not look so monotonous. So I think I'm going to have them like inset slightly, just like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually bring a little shrubbery bush down here just to fill in that space. Although I'm one tile out, so let me go back. Actually, let me go forward one. That's what I want to do. I want to move this one across. And then move the light forward one. And then maybe we bring the pathing sort of like back in on itself. You see, it just adds, at least to me, a little bit of visual interest amongst the pathing. Because when you're using something like the brick pathing, it can get quite monotonous quite quickly. So I'll put that there, and then we might even put something in here when I go back into furniture. But let's continue with this. I'm going to get rid of these ones. So I've got 4 around these little green spaces. I'm going to bring these in. I'm going to fully rotate it so I can get one on each side. Actually, looking at that, I see the way it clips onto the path here. So I think what I'm going to do, which might not be the most popular option, is I'm actually going to open this up and then I'm going to bring it back one, because I'm actually not mad at it being open either. It doesn't always have to completely join. Even then, in the one that I used previously, I kind of just had them as a dual post because they wouldn't quite connect with the size that I had it. So yeah, I'm actually going to open up all of these little fences just by one, in order to give myself enough room to place those lampposts where I want them. This is not the most conventional way of doing it, but I think it's going to work, and I think it's going to look good. So now I can move these back by one, and it just sits much nicer in that open bit of pathing that I left. And just one more in here. Although I do need to move this concessions card. So I'm just going to sneak this off to the side just while I place these down. That looks good. That already looks Christmassy. I mean, I could leave it like that, I guess, and it would be just fine. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate that on this side. I do wish, I think I've said it before, either in video or on stream, that I would love the ability to have like a selection tool so you could select a section of your furniture mode, I guess, or like a section of your biome, and you could like copy and paste it. Because what I would love to do is, if I had like a selection tool, I could just drag it over this section, it would highlight all of this, and then I could duplicate it and just bring it over here and then just place this down exactly the same, and then you don't have to do stuff twice, especially if you do a lot of like symmetrical builds like I do, especially because I do symmetry for my dream snaps. It would be nice to just be able to like duplicate and then rotate 180 degrees, and then it would just be perfect. But that's okay. We've got this this lamppost in. I can just get the other couple in super quick, and then we'll be rocking and ready to go. There we go. I've obviously got some wrought iron lighting over here by my like Remy section, my Remy's restaurant. I'm actually going to get rid of these as well. I don't think I'm going to replace these one for one with the Christmas ones because I don't think they're going to fit. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get rid of these temporarily and see where I can actually get those lampposts in. I just grab one that's already rotated. I do really want them kind of like coming off the plaza entrance, so I can actually fit them there. That's great. So I can fit one there, and then okay, I can't fit it there, but I can fit it in line with the the flower border. So I can do that for both. That's still enough room for my character to run through, which is the main thing. Ideally, in an ideal world, I would like to have it like on those spots, but obviously the corner of that topiary is in the way. And I still can't say that word. Topiary. Let me delete those, and then I can just duplicate this in exactly the same spot. 1 and 2. There we go. There we go. All of the festive vibes. That looks great. So next up, I'm going to replace the fencing that I deleted. So instead of using an actual fence down here from the fencing tab, I'm going to use this candy cane rail. I think this was again in the premium shop a couple of weeks ago. Maybe it's in the premium shop this week. I can't quite remember, but I'm going to place that down just to bring like just a bit of interest. It's something different. I like how quirky it is, and it definitely does feel themed correctly for Disney. This is definitely the kind of fence that they would put up. So I'm going with that. I feel like you would see that in the parks. And then I'm just going to do 2 on this side because when I place these down, oh, look, see, this is what I was talking about with the bushes down on the front. You can hit the edges of the biome, which is frustrating. Like, I wish that we would just have like a square edge biome, but that's okay. We'll just have to place it there. And then I can just bring them forward. But the reason I'm only having 2 on this side is because obviously over here, I've kind of got like a big square. I've got the topiary, and then I've got the buildings on this side with like a path down them. But on the left-hand side, because of Sully's steps down from the Monsters Inc. house, I've had to kind of like bring this functional section in a little bit. I think it's just 1 tile, but I've had to bring it in. So in that case, if I used 3 here, I would be blocking off the path just due to the size of the buildings on this side. So I'm only using 2, but I think it still works, and I think that it isn't really that noticeable. It is for me because I know it's not symmetrical. However, if you were to visit my valley, you probably would never notice. The nice thing about this set was it did come with a lamp as well. So I think I'm going to use this probably just about here, just to kind of like end that fence, because it doesn't really have an end piece. I think popping this kind of lamp just sort of like 1 tile in just kind of like says, okay, this bit is kind of done, you know? So I'm going to reflect that on both sides. I'm going to bring that over here and pop it there, and then I'm also going to pop it probably there for that one. Yeah, that looks good. Usually, obviously, I would put it here to match, but because this side is extended, although maybe I don't have to extend that. Maybe I can just change this structure up a little bit. Maybe I'll just bring this all down by 1, and then at least these 2 match, so they aren't like offset, because I've had that since I did this plaza build originally, and it's always bugged me a little bit. So why I never did this in the first place, I don't know. But Scrooge can have a little bit extra space for the entrance to his store, and then I'm going to get rid of the trolley because we don't need that, or the recycling bin. And now these 2 match perfectly, and it's just 1 tile smaller than that side. So yeah, that works. I don't know why I never did that before. And then I can place that there. Amazing. Look, that already looks really good. So I'm going to come out of furniture mode just to save it again. If you are following along, well, your plaza probably doesn't look like this, so you're probably not following along. But if you are redecorating, do try to remember to come out of furniture mode just to be safe. Maybe you don't even need to do it anymore, and I've missed a bug fix somewhere. However, I've been burned by that in the past, so it's worth bearing in mind. All right, I was just thinking maybe I could kind of duplicate these here and then here, just to make those kind of sections feel complete. Because I don't want to add a fence in this bit, but I don't know. I think that makes it feel sort of like 2 distinct areas. So I'm wondering if I replicate it on this side, can I get away with that? 1 right on the edge, and then 1 right on the edge? Yeah, I think that works. I think that works, because I can still use those little candy cane lampposts on the outsides, but then I've still got like festive wreaths on the inside. Love that. Love that. Looks great. So that is the lighting and the fences updated. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to work on some of these shrubs. So I'm going to adjust some of these shrubbery bushes a little bit in order to kind of tie them in with the Christmas tree. So I want to go with a red and green theme. And now that we have the Storybook Veil, which is perfect, I can bring in some of these bind bushes, which are obviously red. I'm just going to pop one down, and I'm going to have, where I've got like rows of these flower bushes, I'm going to alternate red and green just to kind of like make it feel a little bit more festive. So I'm thinking if I delete the first and the second, no, the first and the third, I should say, I should be able to fit them in here. But interestingly, that doesn't quite fit. So what I'm wondering is if I can get away with it on the rotation. Can I get it any closer? And I can. There you go. So I kind of wanted it to overlap, but when it's on its regular rotation, it doesn't fit. However, when it's on its 45-degree, it does fit. So you see, I just kind of want that like red and green, the red and green. I think that all fits together nicely. So I'm just going to replicate it on this side as well. That's fun. That feels festive. I kind of want like a circle, maybe not a whole circle around the tree, but I do kind of want maybe two halves. So what I'm thinking is if I bring one of the festive trees, or one of the festive bushes, I should say, I'm going to rotate it back to its regular rotation because it drops then from a 5x5 to a 4x4, which means I can place it right in the middle. And then I'm going to have one of these. Can I rotate this one as well? Maybe here. Oh, I didn't need to rotate that. Okay, maybe there. And then I can place another one of these just there. So I'm actually getting kind of like, I'm getting kind of a semicircle effect. Which is nice because it has like a gentle curve to it without being too in your face. There we go. I think that looks good. I really like how that looks. I'm going to leave these two little inlets here because I'm going to place some benches in there. But what I am going to do is I'm going to just extend this path up by one just to hide the edge of it. Because even though it looked good when I had the partner statue down, I do just want to kind of like hide that and get rid of it underneath these specific bushes. There we go. So now you can't see and it all kind of flows well. And when I come down to this angle, it looks super nice. And I think it works really, really nicely. The one thing that I'm kind of looking at is I don't know whether to swap these two bushes around. Because like when you're looking at it from that angle, it would be nice if this was the green one. And then this was the red one. Having said that, if I was looking at it like that, it would then be green this way, so I would probably still be unhappy. So I'm actually just going to leave it just like that. But it still looks good. That's the main thing. So moving on, I'm going to get some of these benches again. The only difference is this time, I'm going to go into furniture so we can replace all of the benches. I'm actually going to search for bench. And I'm going to place down the red ones instead. So I've currently got the Iron Park bench down everywhere, which is my favorite bench in the game. However, because this one has the red on it and it matches the tree a little better, I'm going to go with the red one for this build. So that means I just need to replace these two with two more of those. And then I'm just going to do exactly the same on this side. And then I can duplicate that and get those just in there. I've already placed those benches down on the outside of there by the look of it, which is great. Does that mean I did it on the other side? I did. Excellent. So those are all down. My benches are done. They work really well. I think that they match a little bit better being the red, even though I do love the green versions. This is already coming together and I already feel very festive. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to find a new home for the concessions cart. I think I might just make use of the rotation because I have such a big gap here now. I think maybe I kind of like line it up sort of there. So it's central to the park's entrance, but then it leaves enough space here because what I do want to do, I go back to all of my furniture. I do want to use the hot cocoa stand because what is more festive than hot cocoa? And I'm going to place that at a 45-degree, and then I'm going to have that maybe sort of about here, just for now. That looks really good. So what I'm thinking is I have these two sort of like spaces here. I thought when you came up the steps, instead of just having the path right against these steps, when I had my regular build, I had this little space here and I had some like trees in it and stuff. I do have a smaller version of the tree of holiday cheer with the gift. So I was thinking, what is more Disney than having 3 trees in one place? So I was thinking of placing 2 inside these little squares as well. And then I can have them sort of just about like that. Doesn't that feel Christmassy? Doesn't it feel Christmassy to have 3 trees? Because then I can keep these nice little fences. Or I wonder, let me just try something. I wonder if I can place these candy cane fences around these trees instead. Now that would feel festive. Let's see. Can I fit these in? If I do 1, 2. What, can I only fit 1? I can only fit 1. But I think that kind of works. Like, I don't think I might need to tweak the path just by here. So if I bring that out, maybe, and just get rid of, like, the one running along the edge. Let me just move that out of the way. And then I wonder if I need to get rid of that one. I think that looks good. I think that looks good. Maybe I just bring... Maybe I do bring just one pathing element down. Just so it kind of sits on the edge. I don't know. I'm going to have to sit with that for a little bit because I really like how this one looks, but then I also do really like how this one looks as well. If this actually worked more like a fence rather than single pieces you place down, like I wish it joined on the corner because otherwise you can really kind of only have these fences straight across. But talking about straight across, what I do want to do is I do want to place them right along the edge of the Plaza biome. So I'm just going to duplicate them all the way down, and we'll see how far we can get it. I can get to there. Okay, I wonder then, in that case, if I bring them... Oh no, I can't even bring it across one, you see, because I'm hitting the park's entry. So that is exactly where I can get it. So actually, let me look at that again from a couple of different angles. I do like those fences. I think they're really fun. They're super, super festive. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to bring these back down here. And I'm going to place just these bushes right along the front edge of this fence. So if I just duplicate each one, again, this is why a select and duplicate feature would come in real handy. However, it doesn't take too long with a keyboard and mouse. If you are on a controller, I do feel for you. It's not easy. And then I can just kind of like go right up to the edge just like that, which is nice. And maybe even fit one of these in because I know it's just a single tile. Maybe if I rotate it that way. I wish I could have it here, but I can't. So I might have to settle for having it just there. And that kind of like blocks that off as an official exit. Although maybe I rotate it that way. There you go. You kind of feel like it just kind of stops there rather than just like completely cuts off. And I love the way that looks. That does feel super, super festive. So I'm going to do it on the same side. However, I'm going to run it up to this brick fence to see how that brick fence looks. So I can fit one here, and then I'm going to get rid of that. Look at these spawnables. They're trying to find every bit of path that they can get on. Let me run this along here. Actually, yeah, I think maybe having it up against the brick fence is a little bit nicer. So I could bring this out one and bring that down. And then I suppose I could just get rid of that bit of path there. And then it all kind of just like fits nicely. So I'm going to do the same thing here. So I'm going to delete these now. And then I'm going to get rid of this one piece of path. And then I'm going to go over to fencing. Grab that iron spike and base. And then I can just run this exactly the same as the other one. Just like that. And then I'll just bring the one tile of path down and across. There we go. There we go. I think I got it. That looks great. The nice thing about that is now I can kind of like centralize the tree a little bit more. No, I can't because we can't do half tiles. So I'm going to have to go with having it there. Because if we had a half tile, I could have it like right in the middle of those two. But what I'm going to do is I kind of want it closer to the steps. So I'll just have it in the position that I had it in before. And then maybe I'll throw like something down in here. I don't know if I've got anything in the foliage. Let me have a quick scan. I don't think I've got anything red that would go nicely in here. No, there doesn't seem to be. So maybe there's something in underbrush that I can dig out and pop in this spot. Otherwise, maybe a fern? No, I can't quite fit the fern. That's fine. That's fine. I tell you what will happen is some flowers will spawn in there anyway, so I could end up just having a couple of nice flowers dotted around the edge of the Christmas tree. All right, I'm going to come out of that just to save that a second. And then I'm going to go straight back in just to make sure. What I want to do now is actually put the sleigh. I want to put the sleigh up in this section. So I do have that favorited Santa's gift sleigh, and I'm just going to rotate it kind of like there. And then my plan is to just have a bunch of gifts kind of like around the outside of it. I do have the really big pile as well, so I'm wondering where I could best fit those in. Because they are quite a big item. So maybe if I move the sleigh back across one, so it's like kind of in the corner, I'm able to get these gifts rotated just about right. No, my lamp is in the way. The lamp is in the way. That's fine. Maybe we can go with like... What about... I don't want it to come over the path, you see. So I'm going to put these gifts like right in front of it. And then I'm just going to build out like the rest of the space with the single gifts that we have, because we do obviously get all of these versions of the gifts, and there's enough for me to just kind of like completely fill this section in. Because what I thought, it could be like a nice photo spot or something like that. I'm thinking of it like an actual park, but let me see if I have any others, because I don't know if I favorited them all. Yeah, I think that's everything. So I'm just gonna dot just a couple of these around again, and maybe like the large round one just in here. Actually, pop that one there, drop that in there, and that kind of works. That kind of looks like children are gonna have the best day ever, which we love to see. Let me just place one more down, kind of about there. All right, yeah, I'm happy with that. And I think being outside of Scrooge's, Scrooge will be very happy that this is a paid photo opportunity that he can capitalize on, because we do love Mr. Capitalist McDuck. I'm actually going to leave this section empty because I love this just as like my little functional section. There's enough space if I need to add anything else, you know, if we ever get another kind of table. I think I might actually have a red crafting table. Let me just double check. I do not. I definitely do. I just don't know where it is. So maybe I'll swap that out for a red one just so it fits in. However, the time bending table doesn't really match, so I guess it doesn't entirely matter. But I think it's starting to get there. I don't actually think we're a million miles away. I'm just looking. I know what I want to do. I'm going to get rid of all of my flowers. So you can see that I'm using these kind of like flower borders at the moment. And these are my absolute favorite flower borders in the game. I love like the lilac, the blue, and the pink. However, these are a little bit spring. And what I do know is very not spring and feels much more Christmassy are the light up ones from Eternity Isle. So I do actually have a couple of those crafted. If I go into my foliage tab, they should be in here. Yeah, the luminescent one. So I've got the flower disc and then I've got the flower rectangle. So I'm actually just gonna like replace one for one where these were, because, and my reasoning for using these, because I don't actually love these all that much. However, they light up at night and I think they're gonna match the Christmas tree, and everything else is gonna light up. So I think they're gonna work quite nicely. Even if I don't absolutely love them, for the time being, for Christmas, I can make an exception. So I'm just going to place them kind of like exactly where they were, and I like to do a full rotation on every other one just to mix it up so it doesn't kind of like catch a total repeating pattern. So if I put that one there, I can put that one there, and then I kind of duplicate it, but then swap it, and then duplicate it and swap it. So if I come out just to show you what these look like, I mean, you've probably used these before. However, at night, we go over to graphics and offset the time, they light up and they feel very Christmassy. So they kind of feel a little bit futuristic, but they do feel Christmassy, which actually for this build, I really like. So I'm going to use those and I'm going to drop back down into daylight. And then we're going to go in and just replace those other couple, because I think there's one or two left that we need to place down. So I'm going to place one right about here. And then I'm going to place another one just there. So again, I've got two on this side, but they're having to be centralized to these fences. And then I've got two on this side centralized to those. But I don't think you notice, even though this side is a little bit wider, it looks all good. All good? It looks all good. I actually don't think we're a million miles away. What I'm thinking of doing is actually... Oh, I need to replicate this. So let me duplicate that and then... Oh, I've already got one here. I'm going to just replicate it on this side. Now, where is it? It's like 2 tiles in from the edge of that. So 2 tiles in and about centralized, I would say. I think it just needs to come down one more, but then otherwise that is in the right spot. And I guess I could finalize up the space for this cocoa stand now. So maybe I will put that... Maybe I'll put that about there. So it's not on a total 45 degree, but it's just enough for somebody to get behind it and to work the stand. Although, having said that, I'm going to have to think about this because I haven't done the bushes on this side yet. So let me get those bushes in. Since we got distracted, I got distracted. Got 1, 2. I think those are in line. They are in line. I just had to double check then because I was like, oh no, is my whole fence out of line? But it's not. It's definitely in line. And then I can just go ahead and duplicate all of these. It does take a little while to go through and do them one by one, but it's definitely worth it in the end. Let's grab the red one and then the green one. And then, of course, I need to duplicate this over here. Where did I place that? Was it? Oh, it's there. So I need to harvest that. Let's go and harvest that super quick just so I can place this light down. Even just surfing through the plaza right now feels great. Super, super Christmassy. 1, 2. There we go. Out the way, oregano. Actually, there's people thinking, why do I say it like that? Some people say oregano, right? But no, we say oregano. Well, I say oregano. And where was it? It was just about there, wasn't it? Was it? Let me... It was right up against the fence. So did I come back too far? Can I go right up against that fence? I can't. So, are my suspicions right? Are my fences misaligned? My fences are misaligned. Look, when I run that up there, it is not in the right place. And I can go back an extra one. Can I go back an extra one everywhere? I can. What? Oh, how frustrating. Right, I'm going to have to go into furniture mode, get rid of that just a second, fly down here because there's... Oh no, look, what have I done? What have I done? I'm going to have to delete this and then give myself a way out so I can go around. Okay. So I can go around, actually pick this up. And now I can go back one by one. I just said when I was placing this down, isn't it good that I don't... Isn't it good that these are in line and I don't have to worry about moving them? And then here we go. I got them all wrong, apparently. I need to go back just one for everything. So that is the fences. Then I can just bring these bushes back just by one. What am I missing? I'm missing a red one right in the middle. There we go. That wasn't too painful. That was quicker than I thought it was going to be. And then I can place this light on over here. Is that right? Is that where I have it on the other side? Just off the edge of the fence. Just off the edge of the fence. Yeah, that works. Although this one on the left does look a little further in. Oh no, it doesn't. It looks exactly as it's meant to be. Excellent. Small details, but they matter. To me, at least. All right, I don't think, yeah, I was just double checking that we can't fit the fence down there, but we definitely can't because it hits the park's entry. However, I can now move this back in line just about there. And I would say that I could probably come up one there. So now they match. They're just on a nice little angle. That works for me. That all looks really good. And what I'm going to do now is just place a couple of little things in these central kind of like green areas where I'm going to use some foliage and some trees. And I'm actually going to take the opportunity to bring in maybe a wintry tree. I can already see that I'm going to have to pick these herbs again. It is so frustrating having to pick these. I do wish that we could turn them off. I'm not that worried about the digging spot because I don't really need that right now. So I think I can get away with that. I'm going to move the light back into this spot. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to place the Plaza shrubbery hedges. If I remember, they are in trees. Yeah, and it's these hedges. So I'm going to place one here. And I'm going to place one here. So even though this is like a central kind of green space, I do want it to be structured still. So my plan is to bring in one of the maple trees. Now I know that's here somewhere, the short Japanese maple, because I love the red. That matches the Christmas tree. So I'm going to pop that just about there. I'm going to duplicate it on this side. Pop that kind of just about there. And then I'm going to bring in the high snowy firs. So I don't want it to be like overly snowy or overly Christmas, although these ones are huge. I think there's a smaller version. Although maybe that's too small. Is there a mid version? I feel like there's a middle version. Maybe I'm wrong and there's only two. Oh, there's the middle version. So I'm going to place that like right behind this post. Now looking at that, it does have a 3x3, but if I rotate it 45 degrees, it turns into a 4x4. So I can actually have it directly behind the post, which is nice. That's another reason I love the rotation. So I'm going to bring it over here and I'm just going to pop it right behind the post there too. So it just brings a little bit of winter in without feeling like overly wintry, because I did consider, let me show you super quick. I did consider swapping my pathing out because I have enough of the snowy brick road, but it just darkens it a little bit too much. I like how bright the regular brick pathing is. So I'm going to actually undo that and keep this because I feel like this is kind of how Main Street would be decorated, because these are probably fake trees if Disney actually did Main Street in that regard. So I think that they work well just having the two, and it does feel like it's intentionally themed rather than kind of like weathering that way. But yeah, I think we're nearly there. The only other things that I want to do, I do actually want to get a couple more of these flower beds down because I have them to use. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to place them on the empty gaps on each side of these green spaces. Just like that, and then I'll do exactly the same over this side. So when these light up, they're going to make all the difference. And I do need to go and grab that memory before I can place that one down. So let's see if we get a memory orb or we get a coin orb. Knowing my luck, it'll be a coin. There we go. It's a coin. Never mind. At least it's out the way so I can place this in the right position. And then I think maybe because I've got these two spaces here, I'll have to come up with what I can put just there. But I know what I do want to use. What I do want to use in the middle of this kind of like wintry section is the permafrost cloud. So if I can fit that in, I'm hoping that I can. I think I might just need to bring this tree forward one in order for me to be able to get that in. But what I'm going to do, just to be safe, I'm going to move that back as well. And that way, I can just have that cloud, like, without getting rid of the hedge. I can have that cloud like perfectly centered. It just adds like a little bit of snowfall. So what I need to do is I actually need to do the same thing on this side. So I brought this one forward towards the lamppost one, and then I took, actually I think the maple is in the right place on that side. So then I can place this. I did it again. I got rid of the hedge. I can place this right in the middle, just like that. So it's got like a bit of dramatic snowfall. I think that looks really good. I wonder if I could place them at all around the tree. No is the answer, because the tree is too tall. That's a shame. It would have been nice to like place it right over the tree, but never mind. I'll just get rid of that. And then what else can I do just to fill in this gap? Let me have a think. Oh, I know exactly what to do. I can use the giant pile of gifts. And I'll just use one of these either side, because obviously the Christmas tree is here, so it definitely feels an appropriate spot for those. And then I can just rotate that all the way around and have it kind of like that. Now that feels Christmassy. That definitely feels Christmassy. Because who doesn't want a giant pile of gifts, right? And the other thing I'm going to do just to finish off is I'm going to add a couple of little theming elements, and I'm just going to put some of the gifts like alongside these benches just to give like just an extra bit of interest. So I'm going to use one there, and then I'm going to place another one probably rotated just next to it. And then I can kind of do the same thing on this side. Because actually filling the space in with these little gift boxes does make it feel a little bit more, well, lived in is the wrong word because there's nobody living at Disney, I hope. But it does make it feel like the space is a bit more full and rich. So like that, I think that looks really nice. I wonder if I can place some down here as well. Yeah, I can. So maybe one there and then another little gift box. Actually, that one's too big. Let's go with the smaller one. One there. And then the little blue one next to it. Just like that. And then I'm actually going to rotate that one back around that way. And then do that. That looks nice. And then I'll just kind of like replicate something like that over this side, because I've also got a bench over here. Even though there are all of the tree branches in the way, they keep falling off. Again, requesting a option to turn the spawn off, please, Gameloft. That would be great. And then one there, and then what should we place? Actually, I could just do the large round gift box on this side, because that takes enough space up. Amazing. Right, that looks great. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with the gifts dotted around everywhere. And just looking at it, as I kind of like scan over the top, I think that we might be done. What do we think? I'm happy with how it turned out. Obviously, it looks a little different from aerial view compared to being down there. However, I wonder, just on these last points, I wonder if I can fit anything in this little space, because these are only single tiles, so I can actually fit gifts down in here as well. So I'm going to try and fill this space out with a couple of gifts. Let's do that one. I don't know if I'll fit the really big ones. Oh, I can fit the really big ones. Amazing. Then I can get like the blue one in, maybe another blue one over here. There we go. Yeah, so I can just fill all that space in, and then hopefully it'll stop stuff spawning in there as well. That would be a dream. Let me just duplicate everything. So I'm using the same items. I can fit that in. Nice. And then I wonder if I can fit this in towards the back. I can't. I cannot. I cannot. I was about to say I can, but I definitely cannot. That's okay. I wonder if I could place down one of the round ones instead. Let me place that there, and then I'll get rid of the blue one, because I think I might have space down here. No, I don't. So that's interesting. So because this one, like this part of the biome comes in, is what I was talking about earlier, you can kind of fit a 4 tile one in there, but I can't fit it over here. So I'm gonna have to go with just the smaller ones to fill this space, which is fine. I can do that. We'll do another small one, just kind of there. And then I've got another green one, I'm sure. Yeah, just in that spot. And then I can place another one sort of like there. And then I wonder if I can just duplicate the blue one. And then I'll duplicate the white one. And that feels pretty balanced. Just like that. Excellent. That looks great. There we go. I think we are pretty much done. So what I'll do is I will jump into avatar mode, and I'll just walk around, and we'll take a little tour of my brand new Christmas plaza. All right, so this is how it looks on the approach from the peaceful meadow. I mean, does this not look Christmassy to you? Just these small changes have made such a big difference. Obviously, we've got the big tree of holiday cheer in the middle. I think that works great. We've even got the benches around it, which I love, so you could sit around. On the left-hand side, we've obviously got the nice big pile of gifts that we put down. We've got the hot cocoa stand, because what is more Christmassy than hot cocoa? And what is more Disney than upselling drinks and concessions? So I've obviously got those light up flowers. I will go into night mode in a sec to show you those. Dotted them around in a couple of places, but what I really love is sort of like all the gifts being around, because that does feel super Christmassy. And also I absolutely love these lights with the wreaths on them and the little bells, like the lampposts. They look so good. And actually this little snowfall permafrost cloud looks great in that space as well. So I'm really happy that I placed that there, or remembered to place it there. I think that these flowers in the evening time or the nighttime are going to look great because they light up. And then I actually really love these fences as well. They are a bit garish, I would guess, but I think they work. And the fact they've got lights on them makes them even better. Again, this is my functional area. And then this is kind of like that Scrooge McDuck upsell for photos with the sleigh and lots of gifts. Coming over to this side, and I will go into night mode. So now you can see the flowers all lit up. The wreaths look even better at night, and then the fences, yeah, they all have that they have that light up effect to them as well, which is really nice. I'm glad I swapped the wrought iron out for those candy cane ones. There's nothing really over here. I actually like having the space in the plaza. I like having the space to just walk around without feeling too cramped. But coming down here, I forgot that the permafrost clouds actually light up as well. So if I come around this angle, you'll see that they do have like a nice white glow, and you can see the snow much better at night, which is nice. And even the concession stand lights up at night, which I didn't realize. I think alternating the red and green bushes was also a great idea, because it does make it feel very, very festive. And of course, the trees light up as well, which just makes it even better. It makes it very, very chef's kiss. Although let's not look at my peaceful meadow, because that is a mess. Alright gang, that is it for this video. I do hope that you enjoyed it. I hope it's made you feel festive, because I've not been feeling that festive this year. So maybe overhauling my plaza and bringing a bit of Christmas joy to Dreamlight Valley will make me feel a little bit more excited for Christmas. Let me know down in the comments what you think. I know this wasn't a gigantic build. I know it wasn't a build from scratch, but I actually really love how it turned out. I love the fact that I was able to just change a couple of little items and it have a really big impact and totally change the feel of the plaza while retaining its entire structure, basically. If you did enjoy this video, feel free to give it a like. Again, comment down below what your favorite part was, or maybe even consider subscribing to the channel for more Disney Dreamlight Valley content. I said this in the last video, but I'm still on vacation, so I will respond to all of your lovely comments whenever I get back. But until that time, I will catch you in the next one, and I will, of course, see you in the valley.